Welcome, everybody, to episode number 66 of Can We Make Impact Wrestling the Best Promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. I am the mayor, Jason Smith, and this little dude in my lap is the newest member of our family. This is Rocky. Rocky, can you look at the camera for me, buddy? Here, let's show you off to the world. Say hi, everybody. He's a good puppy. He's a really great puppy. We adopted him from the local animal shelter. He was an owner surrender, and he's been a really cool addition to our family. So if you ever are in the market for a new pet or a new animal, new friend, companion, whatever that may be, I highly recommend a shelter pet. We have bought from breeders, we've bought from shelter pets, and I have to say, by far, that shelter dogs and cats are the best dogs and cats really in the world, because they're so super well behaved and they're just wonderful animals that want a great home. And shelters can be very lonely. Despite all of the animals that are there. A lot of people coming and going, a lot of strange sounds and smells and sights, and a lot of new. And so this is day number 3. Yeah, you came home Saturday, and he's been here ever since, and he's been a great addition, loves our other 2 dogs, and he just has a great time hanging out with us, don't you, bud? Yeah. All right. So in today's episode, as you can see, we are 3 days away from our next Impact TV. We are post-Impact pay-per-view, and what an incredible pay-per-view it was. Bound for Glory 15. We had a title change for the Impact television title. Phoenix defeated Kenny Omega to become the new Impact Television Champion. We also had the women's title change hands. Kairi Sane ended the streak of Billie Kay. Rich Swann beat Jon Moxley for the Impact X Division title. The Young Bucks became the new tag champs. Bray Wyatt defeated Adam Cole for the Impact Grand title. And the one that I was almost certain would change hands, Marty Scurll retained the Impact World title from a number of challengers in our main event. As somebody's giving me kisses. Alright, so we're 3 days out from Impact Wrestling as we begin to wind down a pretty good October. And we'll take a look at our finances. We're actually turning a profit this month, which is rare for us. As of right now, we're turning a profit, I should say. So we'll see how that lasts, if it lasts. Is that good? The crook of my elbow is apparently very delicious. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Turning Point 2009. First match on the card was the reigning, defending, undisputed X Division champion, Amazing Red, taking on Homicide for the X Division Championship. And, I watched the Ultimate X match at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and Amazing Red, I forgot just how good he was. So, he actually would retain in this match. I don't really get the Amazing Red Don West connection, but whatever, they seem to run with it. Next up was the 6 knockout tag team match for the TNA Women's Knockout Championship and the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. So you had ODB, the Women's Knockouts Champion, along with Sarita and Taylor Wilde, the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, taking on the Beautiful People, Lacey Von Erich, Madison Rayne, and Velvet Sky. The winner of the match would then become one would become the Knockouts champion, and then 2 would become the tag team champions. So, pretty clear cut in the case of ODB, Sarita, and Taylor Wilde, who would get what, obviously, because they were already champions coming in. So the big question was, if Beautiful People won, who would get which titles? Would Lacey Von Erich be the Knockouts champ and Madison Rain and Velvet Sky become tag champions, or how that would work out? Kind of became moot as ODB and Sarita and Taylor Wilde would pick up the win in that matchup. Next up was a three-way match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships between the champions, the British Invasion, Magnus and Doug Williams, the Motor City Machine Guns, and Beer Money Incorporated. 10-minute match, probably not the most ideal match to follow the women's match, which was meh. It was only 5 minutes in length, so just kind of a kind of thing, and then to come out of that with a tag team championship match probably didn't make the most sense, but that's where it was. British Invasion would retain their TNA World Tag Team titles in the process. All right, so we've got some new emails waiting. We'll see what's happening here. Don't see a whole lot going on in the world, so we'll check our emails. Phoenix is unhappy with the push we are giving him and thinks it should be better. Well, you know what? We haven't auto-pushed anybody in a long time, mostly because we haven't hired or fired anybody in a long time. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the pushes, and it's going to bump Adam Cole up to a main eventer. Adam Page is an upper mid-card guy. Alex Shelley, we're still waiting on him to come back from his injury. Bobby Fish going to slide down to the mid-card. Cody's going to stay a main eventer. Consequences Creed down to the lower mid-card. Oof, they're stinky. Darby Allin is, of course, enhancement talent. Davey Richards in the mid-card. The Future, Everhart, and Xavier are openers. Don Callis, for some reason, is a personality now and not a road agent, which kind of makes him irrelevant. Bye-bye. Eddie Edwards is an upper mid-card guy. Phoenix, a mid-card guy. Upper mid. Jay White, a main eventer. Johnny Impact, John Moxley, mid-card guys. That's very interesting. Kenny Omega, a mid-card guy. Kofi, a lower mid-card guy. That's very interesting as well. He's been booked very well. Marty Scurll, upper mid-card. Matt Jackson is an opener. Lower mid-card for Nick Jackson. Pox in the mid-card. Penta in the mid-card. Rich Swann still hanging on to that main event status. So there's a few guys we're going to have to work to get back up to the top of that card there. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on, and we'll talk about the next match on the card. That would be the 6 Sides of Steel match between Tara and Awesome Kong. About an 8-minute match, and Tara would get the win over Awesome Kong. Now, if you didn't follow TNA back then, or you only have followed WWE, Tara was Victoria in WWE. Awesome Kong, which is the name she's known by throughout the indie universe, and TNA, wherever she's gone, she's been Awesome Kong, except for WWE, she was Karma. Alright, next up is the 6-man tag team match featuring the team of the Dudleys and Rhino taking on D'Angelo Dinero, Hernandez, and Matt Morgan. Give you 3 guesses on who won this match. First 2 don't count, and you can spend those 2 guesses on trying to figure out why in the hell this match was so far up on the card. D'Angelo Dinero, a.k.a. Elijah Burke, has no business being this high on the card. Hernandez I can buy, Matt Morgan I can buy, and then the Dudleys, of course. Rhino, yeah, but I don't ever recall a time when Elijah Burke on a major promotion was this far up on the card. Very strange to me. Okay, what do we got next? El Hijo de Ice Cream joins NXT. Brendan Vink. I think he's developmental. Yep, enhancement talent. Mark LaMonaco and Talia Madison have split up. And it looks like Sanjay Dutt, who I believe is a road agent. Oh, guess not. Guess he's an active wrestler. Looks like his contract is set to expire. And he may be... it looks like he's going to be kept. Okay. All right. Well, we'll push forward and talk about the last 3 matches on our card. Next up, an 11.5-minute match. Falls Count Anywhere between Bobby Lashley and Scott Steiner. Bobby would lose to Big Papa Pump in this one. Bobby Lashley, kind of an auspicious start to his TNA career. Normally a guy like that comes in, he'll get a little bit of a run, get over a little bit, pick up some key wins against some key guys. So for him to lose in what I believe is just his second pay-per-view outing for TNA, kind of odd. Next up would be a singles match between Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe, a.k.a. Nigel McGuinness. Really good match here. And Kurt would get Nigel to tap. Now, I gotta be honest, I did not remember Nigel McGuinness's TNA run. It lasted 2 years. From 2009 to 2011. He was in Ring of Honor, making his way through his first run as Ring of Honor World Champion in 2007. And then through 2009. And then he would leave for a little while. It looked like he was headed to WWE in 2009 and didn't quite work out that way. And ironically, his final match in his first go-round in Ring of Honor, he lost to Bryan Danielson, who was also leaving Ring of Honor to go to WWE. But instead of going to WWE, Nigel McGuinness went to the indie scene and then jumped on the TNA bandwagon for 2 years, then came back to Ring of Honor until 2016, when he would join the WWE. All right, next up, the final match on the card, the main event of the night, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. 3 guys who can, will, and did steal the show in this one, mostly because they were in the main event, but these 3 guys, you put them anywhere on the card, and they're going to steal the show. 21, almost 22 minutes, the champ, AJ Styles, taking on Chris Daniels and Samoa Joe in a triple threat match. AJ would pick up the win in a great match, and I really, truly appreciated it. And I was pretty happy with that match and how it turned out. All right, so I'm going to check our email here. Daria Baronato has become a technician from an MMA fighter. Works for me. All right, Impact Wrestling tonight. And we need help in the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Southwest, and Puerto Rico. Any of these have spillover. So the Mid-Atlantic has spillover into the Great Lakes and vice versa. The Mid-Atlantic also spills over from the Southeast. And the Great Lakes spill over from the Tri-State. So the Tri-State area is one of our better hotbeds. So we could emanate impact from the Tri-State area and get a boost in the Great Lakes region. Pac and Johnny Impact have bonded backstage, discovering a shared love of botany. I would hazard a guess that neither of those two guys are into botany. But that's just me. Alright, Tri-States. Let's filter by size. And let's go 10,000. Somewhere between... Whoops. 7 and 10,000 should do it. And we'll go from the Palestra. They went with the Andy Kerr Stadium. Okay. Alright then. Andy Kerr Stadium, just over 10,000 people. Okay. Alright, we'll take that. The Andy Kerr Stadium. Alright, so now it is time for us to find opponents for all of our champions. And we're actually going to back up here a little bit and go into our office. Oh, we can't look at our schedule. Alright, I was going to check our schedule and see which pay-per-view was next, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, alright. So let's start with the TV champ, since they are required to defend the television title at any and all televised events. That would be Phoenix. And a slew of challengers to pick from. Since this is a bit of a mid-card title, I think we'll shift our focus here. And the first name that caught my eye on my list over here was TJP. So we will flip that over to TJ Perkins. Put that TV title on the line. And away we go. Whoops. Okay. We've got our tag team champs, the Young Bucks. I think we're going to put them in a rivalry with the Shield. And looks like the Shield's going to be willing to play ball in this one too, which is kind of awesome. We're actually going to put the titles on the line since the Bucks are... it's okay, buddy. Since the Bucks are going to win anyway. Alright, so next up is Rich Swann. Still hanging on to that main event status. He's our X Division champion. And he's got Jay White to start things off. So we'll try this one first and see how it goes. We've got our Impact Grand Champion as well, Bray Wyatt, who's going to need a dance partner. And we'll go with the up-and-coming at Page. See if the Hangman can hang with Bray Wyatt. Alright. And last but not least, for the men's side anyway, we have our champion, Marty Scurll. Who I think we'll go with Drew Galloway. This should be an interesting matchup there indeed. He snores. It's funny. He makes me laugh. Alright, now let's find ourselves a women's championship match. So Kairi has the title back. And we will start with Asuka. There we go. Let's see how these two do. And we will have them open the show. Alright, we've got 10 minutes left. And I'm pretty sure we've got about 1,000 main event guys left. Oh, well, just 4. So we'll book them up. Adam Cole, baby, Cody Rhodes, Eddie Edwards, and Sami Callihan. Kudos to Sami, by the way, for winning the Impact World Championship. Alright, so we have got our show completely booked out. Let's go ahead and run it. Kairi Sane and Kana looks like that's gonna be a go. We'll get that in the books for us. Next up, the Bucks and the Shield. And that's gonna be a go. Phoenix and TJP looks pretty good. So we'll pencil that one in. Rich Swann and Jay White was okay. So I think we'll pencil that one in too with my pen. Adam Cole. Our Fatal 4-Way turned out not terrible. Our main event is not yet. Bray Wyatt and Adam Page did not go well at all. Drew Galloway, Marty Scurll have some pretty good chemistry. And it paid off. So we'll stick with that one. And so it looks like the Grand Championship is the only one that we're going to have to keep an eye on, and it really hurt having that one next to last on the card as part of the main event scene there. Oh, boy. So on tomorrow's show, episode number 67, we'll be talking TNA's Final Resolution, the last pay-per-view of 2009, the December pay-per-view. We would see the TNA pay-per-view debut of Jesse Neal. Jesse was part of a team known as Inc. Incorporated. Inc. Get it? he was friends with Shannon Moore. And yeah, not really much else interesting to talk about with Jesse Neal other than that. You also would have a Feast or Fired match. Rob Terry would make his TNA pay-per-view debut. And I think that was more or less it for the debuts. We'll talk about that tomorrow in episode number 67. And let's check our ratings. As Sue Young gets set to depart. We were actually up a little bit, so that's good. And we are... He's licking my desk. Is that good? Rocky. Rocky. Is that good? Is that good? You like that desk? Is it tasty? Did one of the girls drop something or spill something on it or something? I think so. Because he's really into whatever it is that's on that desk. You can't really see my desk. It's glass with metal bars underneath it. And he's sort of like licking the side of the metal bar under the glass. He's a weirdo. But he's my weirdo. Alright, there we go. Cool. So, 5 days away. We're a couple days away from the end of October, where we should be set to turn somewhat of a profit, hopefully. We shall see. And we'll continue to march toward our November pay-per-view Turning Point. Should be a good one. So, that's all for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, be excellent.